Welcome back to D&D. So, last week you had managed to open up the large metal door to the main room where you were confronted by an Illithid. You got into a fight with him where he was able to be destroyed. You then destroyed the creatures that he had with him. From there, you sat in a main chair where you heard a voice in your head psychically speaking to you report. You decided to bring in the brain in a jar, who sat in the seat. Unfortunately for him, the voice speaking to him caused the jar to start to crack, and eventually it exploded, killing the brain in a jar permanently and spreading the necrophor all over the dead flesh of the creatures you had killed, that then brought them back to life. You were then pursued by the undead Mind Flayer, who was able to use his psychic powers to command the fire elemental. Making your way through the facility, you eventually were able to open up the door leading to the lower level. You then took an elevator that led down a long shaft. The elevator eventually was stopped, and you had to climb out of it and then climb all the way down to the bottom through a long, long ladder. The elevator then was recalled to the top and then started to make its way back down to the bottom. So you were able to get out of the elevator shaft, close the door, and then you found yourself in another metal tunnel. However, you do see a section of this kind of organic creep flowing through one of the doors, which is where we leave off. So yeah, you found yourself just in a tunnel. There is a pair of doors in front of you, and there's see that kind of organic growth along the edge.
Can we ever have a normal adventure?
I think this is normal, unfortunately.
Then do like a nature
We
check
gotta
or
find
something
somewhere
on
to
the
hole up.
stuff.
Ooh, I'll give her a D4 for that nature check.
Okay, go ahead and roll nature. Add in that D4.
Find my mouse.
Okay, and toss in that D4, and we'll see. All right, 21. We've heard of this in passing. Maybe studied it in some books, but this is the kind of organic growth that would be utilized for the kind of creations for the hive or lair of where mind flayers would gather. So this is the kind of traditional method that they use to actually expand out.
So they grow the tunnels, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Are there crystals involved?
You do not believe you've ever heard of any crystals involved with it.
Okay, all right.
The growth itself does come from an organic source and is commanded and constructed through psionic commands given to it.
So, you guys think Mind Flayers made these tunnels? Like that guy up there?
Well, can't imagine what else might have done.
Because that's disturbing. I don't want to meet any more of them.
You and me both. Hey, is this stuff flammable?
It would not be flammable, no.
Dang nabbit. Yeah, I might have a problem in Baldur's Gate, by the way. So we either wait for them to come down or move forward.
No, we gotta move forward. Like, we need to find somewhere we can rest. There's no other way back aside from through them, and not a good idea.
All right, let's move forward then.
Okay. There are two doors in front. They kind of swing forward. You've gone through a couple of them before. Do you go through the doors?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you press through the doors, you see that Yep, the tunnel in front of you is in fact just completely covered in this kind of blue purple organic growth that has gone all around. Uh, the tunnel itself, where the ground you've been walking on, nice and flat, easy to traverse.
Is this detrimental to us? Would we know that off of the nature check that Fern did?
Um, it wouldn't be poisonous to you in any way, shape, or form, unless you
Would it,
ate it, of course.
well, Kaido's not here, so I guess we're good. So it wouldn't like disrupt our like sensory like capabilities.
From what Fern can remember and ascertain based on her nature check, it would not be dangerous to you. It would not alter your senses in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
But the ground is not flat. It looks like it is kind of uneven and would be difficult to kind of walk across in a way that would be you wouldn't count as difficult terrain, but you do need to keep your footing when you're walking through it, as there are spots where it does raise and lower, uh, making it strange and just uneasy to like traverse. The actual hallway itself, however, does stretch down further before taking a turn. Looks like it just twists, not in a nice straight way, but almost kind of curves. Really, this tunnel looks almost like it had been kind of burrowed. Although you can see from the organic growth that it is in fact spreading slowly.
Makes sense. How dead spacey is this out of character?
Oh, not super dead spacey. Uh, it's not like
Still,
flesh growing across like a necromorph would, but it definitely is almost definitely it's organic. It's as you put your feet and hands on the actual surface itself, you can see that it has a small amount of give to it as you press on, but is not soft. Uh, it's almost kind of like a plastic, like, and if you were to press hard, you could make a print within the actual wall itself before it just kind of forms back into its initial position.
Okay.
But it does just kind of cleave to the side, leading the tunnel in a kind of twisting, meandering way where it also kind of like takes a dip and has a slight angle.
Okay. Continue a cautious advance.
Okay. As you make your way down, you do eventually find that the tunnel opens up into a room. The room itself is oval in shape. The organic walls have kind of rigid, almost kind of rib like structures that form a peak at the top. Uh, the room itself is almost empty. However, you do see a kind of blue circle with different runes and this kind of glowing blue light coming from it that has just been embedded into the ground. Next to it, you can see a kind of just organic growth coming up from the ground next to this circle. And there is a section on it that has been sunken in. Uh, it looks to be a handprint on it. However, the hand would be larger than a human hand and have only four fingers, a thumb and the three on top, kind of long and claw shape. But it does form what looks to be a handprint.
All right. Hey Hank, did you save one of those for later?
No, why would I?
I was hoping to get lucky. You sure? Because there's a hand sign thing here, and it looks a little bit like that critter's claws.
I mean, if you wanted to get lucky, we were at the we saw the prostitutes, so I mean, we could always go back and get some if you really want.
All right. just as an aside, you're not getting lucky if you're paying for the privilege.
I mean, I guess it really depends. Are you getting like a deal? Like, is there a coupon or something?
We can discuss this later.
You can ask Kaido when he gets back.
Like a
So you don't
punch
have any.
card, five, and then you get one free?
Now I want to see if there's some kind of Groupon for prostitutes.
I don't know, just put
Now
your
I'm
hand on
distracted,
it.
Ian.
Meanwhile, in Gumtree. Okay, so he does not have a leftover Mind Flayer hand.
I ate them, Graham.
And
I put
Are
it.
they digested?
Oh yeah.
Damn
Oh,
it.
yeah.
All right.
They're digested, all right.
Is this
You want
I'm
those?
sure.
is that entrance we came through the only entrance?
Yep. This is really the only way that is.
All right. I guess we got to try to make a hand.
You want me to put my like pseudopod on it?
You know what?
Try it.
Yeah.
He just tongue comes out and just slaps onto the council, and you can see that it kind of like glows briefly, and then it stops glowing. Graham, I'm gonna let you in a secret. My pseudopod isn't hand shaped.
Can you make it hand-shaped?
Maybe. He kind of like tenses, and the pseudopod just forms like a crude version of this four-fingered hand, and places in, and it glows, and the blue circle kind of like begins to glow more brightly, and you can kind of smell this ozone scent in the air. There you go.
Thank you.
Nice job, Hank.
Let's continue.
Where are we going?
Oh, it didn't do anything?
What do you want to do? The blue
Gotta
thing is
open the
blue.
door.
Did you want it red?
Can you open the door?
Which,
Try the
yeah.
door. Somebody.
What door?
Piffle tries the door.
Does Fiffle step on the blue circle?
Oh, there's not a door.
There's like a blue circle embedded in the ground, and when Hank put his pseudopod onto this kind of raised console with a handprint into it, the circle glowed more blue.
Mm.
Okay.
Does it tell you what it does? What
Couple steps out.
Yeah, there's a voice in it. It said teleporter. I heard it in my brain.
What choices do we have?
Okay.
Step on it, or don't.
No, I mean, where's it going to teleport us?
I don't know. You didn't tell me.
Graham will step on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's either that or an undead mind flayer and a fire elemental.
Okay. As you step on to the circle, you can feel a kind of electrical sensation through your body, and the light expands around, and then it disappears, and you find yourself in a similar room you were in before, but different than it was. And we're going to go. You'll find yourself at the bottom left-hand corner of this map.
And that's how our adventure ended, guys.
I mean, sure as shit is if we can't get a rest done.
Within the room, you do see a number of organic growths along the ground. And you also see from the room another tunnel leading down further. The area you're in, very strange. It is more of the blue-purple organic tunnel that you've seen previously.
Right.
Guys, I've seen this place in a previous life. It's
Can
the
Fiffle scout out ahead stealthily so we can see if we've got a safe clearing or an ambush waiting?
Oh, sure. Send Piffle into the lair of the mind flayers.
I mean, you're the only one who could feasibly get in and get out.
I can look down here and see if there's if it's dark or not, just to get a general idea. But
it is dark. Anybody with dark vision would be able to see, however. It just is a tunnel that expands out further, and so you can see about to there. Heading down the tunnel about 10 feet, there is a path to the right, Down another 10 feet from there is a path to the left, and it continues on straight ahead.
I'll tell Fiffle about that, and then it's just I can't see past that, buddy. And I'm not exactly skinny, stealthy.
He's got the goggles, so he'll be able to.
All right. If I'm the one who's gonna get flayed, I guess off I go. Where's my everything? I can't see. Character sheet. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So yeah, I will stealth up and try and sneak down there.
Okay. Roll your stealth, please. All right, 27. Well, yep, you have 3 paths. You have one to the right, one to the left, and one going straight ahead.
So like here or here or okay, yep. I will go left.
Okay. As you enter into this room here, you can see a number of brains, 5 of them with legs, each one slightly larger than the actual brain itself. They kind of are roaming around this room that has a number of chairs within it.
Mechanical legs like our deceased buddy, or like legs growing out of brains?
Legs growing out of brains.
Hooray!
Fantastic.
They, as you enter in, the brains turn towards you,
But I can't be seen.
and they kind of begin making their way towards you, and make a nature check.
Yes, these seem like very natural things that I would totally know about.
They are in a stance indicating they are ready to pounce and ready to hunt.
Okay, so Piffle is going to slowly back away from the brains.
Okay.
Back into the hallway.
The brains are beginning to follow. Slowly, cautiously, but they are following you.
So there's no door or anything. This was just a passageway to the brains, huh?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. Not wanting to lead the brain gang back to my friends immediately, I'm gonna press onward.
Oh.
I know Fiffle's hidden, but I can't see him back up like that, could I?
Well, you saw him walk into the hall again.
Piffle is like a ghost.
I'm gonna
Fiffle.
keep watching in case something comes down.
All right. Yep. Out of the hall, you do see one of the brain creatures.
I'm gonna whisper, "The fuck is?" Just the fuck is that? But that's a whisper.
Okay. The brain creatures, as they reach the hall here, they turn towards the room you're all in, and they kind of.
I'm gonna back up over here very slowly, and just gonna whisper, "Get ready."
And they all kind of get into the hall.
Can we, on our side, before initiative is rolled, can we deliberately draw their attention so they face us? So maybe Fiffle could get a quick sneak attack in and drop one.
Yeah, if they pass into this area, I will probably Eldritch Blast the first one that goes in here.
Okay. Yep. One of them actually does walk in.
I will Eldritch Blast him
Okay.
and hopefully I don't miss.
Go ahead and make an attack against it.
Go for it.
And let me bring up the actual character sheet for this gentleman. All right. Well, both of those strike. Go ahead, roll damage. Okay. All right. Let's see here. That's 19 total. All right. With that attack, go ahead, click on your character, and roll initiative.
I thought that 20 was mine for a moment.
Well, incidentally, I'm shocked that it was mine.
Yeah, y'all have really high stats. Although that was just by the way that we had rolled to make it that way.
Yeah, Graham's got very beefy stats. I was extraordinarily lucky rolling him.
You're still paying for it?
Something like that. Something corn-fed country boys.
After I Eldritch Blast him, does he look like he's in rough shape or what?
It looks pretty bad. You can definitely see the mind creature is bleeding. I mean, you can think we could all determine these are intellect devourers at this point, although I don't know if your characters would necessarily know that.
Flower. We must go to the helm.
But, let's see, are we missing... Oh, Fiffle, you're up. You have to roll your initiative as well. Unless, of course, you're making your way away from them, in which case you might not even notice that your friends are being attacked.
He probably assumed that
I did back away slowly and make my way down. Tell you what, why don't I roll perception to see if I notice?
Okay. Yeah, you would have noticed. I wouldn't have even put this as a very high DC, as you would have definitely heard the sound of Otto's Eldritch Blast, which he's used many a time. So
okay.
You can, in fact, easily determine that Otto is engaging with these creatures.
Somebody run up, pick it up, and throw it at the other one.
I guess I'll roll initiative. Take a shot as I run away. Here it is.
Okay. All right. So let's sort these. All right, Fiffle, you are up. And one day I will roll high with initiative for an enemy. But not today.
Oh, it happens sometimes. I don't always get to do this.
Twitchik Vetchin, you've attritioned the shit out of us.
I know.
Okay, so yeah. I'm just gonna kind of make a running sneak attack as I well, not running, but I'm gonna keep going the way I'm going, but I'm gonna take a shot at this guy as I go.
Okay.
Since I've seen him and he hasn't seen me. Although I don't know if he's brained me or how any of that works. I don't have a ton of hit points, do I? I got hit by things list.
As you turn towards the creature to engage it, the creature also turns to you.
By thinking about it, did it realize?
Mm-hmm.
Well, an arrow flies.
I believe you get it.
I have advantage, so
an
arrow flies.
That one hits. Go ahead, roll damage. And it would count as an auto crit.
Yep, we'll do that, and then
11 plus
a little bit of this here.
Okay. With that, your arrow strikes into this brain, and the creature just kind of falls over dead.
Good.
Well, at least some things make sense in this topsy-turvy world. Piffle continues on.
Okay.
I guess like the rest of my turn, I'll use some movement and go this way or something.
Yep. As you cross under, you can see that the tunnel has a section above it, which looks different from the actual ceiling you had been walking under before. Looking at this, you would suspect that there might be a tunnel above that is leaning on it as well. So it looks like it might kind of sneak around to another area.
Okay. And I guess I will, since we're in combat, bonus action hide.
Okay.
Seems like the smart move.
All right. With that, it is Otto's turn.
I'll Eldritch Blast the same one I started with.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead, roll damage.
Yeah.
All right, that first strike kills the creature.
No, I got second one can hit this one then.
Okay, for 6. All right.
If somebody wants to put a little bit of hurt on two of them that are side by side or within 5 feet of each other, I could use Toll the Dead and get both of them with the higher damage.
And I'll move over here.
Okay. All right. With that, we're going to go to Fern.
Okay. Fern will try to shoot at this one.
Okay. All right. That's going to be 11. That is a good strike.
Right in the face.
The creature still remains standing, however, but it definitely looks very hurt as the arrow has sunk deep within it.
Right. And then she'll shoot at this one so that Graham can do his thing.
His evil bell thing.
As you shoot towards the creature, the arrow just barely misses and glances off the wall.
Coises.
Yeah. I don't think Aurora can get through there. Past this one.
These creatures are not large. They are, they are actually, they're the size of about a Maine Coon cat.
Okay, can she?
So they are considered small.
There.
Moving past the creature, however, would
or can she not do that? Okay,
she can do it, but it's going to the first brain there will be able to get a attack of opportunity against her.
Would she be able to go like there?
That
like in between them, kind of.
Yeah, she'd be able to get there. Going by the creature would be counting as difficult terrain, so she'd have to use twice the movement to go that extra little bit, so it would be 10 feet instead of 5. Right. But so long as she has enough movement, she could easily get that to that location.
She has 30. Is it 35 or 40?
So she's 5, 10, 15,
have enough,
20,
40.
25, 30. She has 40?
Mm-hmm.
She would have enough.
It would be the exact amount needed. Yep.
Roll.
Cool. Okay, and then she will attempt to maul this dude here.
Okay.
Where's that? Right there.
That does hit. Go ahead and roll damage. All right.
Okay, you stupid little brain.
Aurora is able to bite into the creature.
Hooray.
Angry little bell time.
All right.
Okay.
Graham, you're up.
Graham is going to move up a little closer. And I'm going to toll the dead on the one in the middle and the other wounded one, or the one most wounded, depending.
We're going to start with the one that is closest to you.
Okay, and let me hit the button for the shitty little bell.
All right. It's a spell
wisdom
save.
Saves DC 15.
Okay. First one succeeds.
Ah.
And the second one fails, so go ahead and
All right,
roll the
second
damage.
one will take the damage.
And it's
at 5th level, it'll be 2d12 necrotic.
Yep.
And this will ignore resistance. 13 necrotic.
With that, the creature shrivels up and dies.
Sick. Okay.
All right. We're going to go to our intellect developer friend. So we're going to go with the one closest to Aurora. All right. And yeah. So what it's going to do, it's going to make a claw attack against Aurora.
No.
I believe a 22 hits.
Yeah.
Dealing 7 slashing damage. And then it is going to kind of shake, and you can not see it, but you can almost sense it as this like psionic energy links between the creature and Aurora. I need Aurora to make an intelligence save.
Oh no.
Oh no. Aurora fails, and she is going to be taking...
She has 1 HP, so...
6 psychic damage.
Oh, she's gone.
And at which point Aurora just plumps out of existence.
Oh.
No, just think of it this way, Lena. She just goes, ta-ta, it's dinner time, and just leaves.
The intellect developer then goes 5,
developer?
10, 15. There you go. The other one is going to chase after Fiffle. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
I have no intellect to speak of. I don't know why it wants me.
And you can't see it, but it is directly next to you. That intellect developer, jeez, yeah, Devour. It's going to make a claw attack against you, Fiffle. Does a 17 hit.
I feel like my intelligence should be taking into account here. A 17 hits, but I'm not very smart, so
deals 6 slashing damage to you.
Hit. Fine.
And then you can feel it link psionically with you. Can you give me a intelligence save, please?
Okay, so that was an attacker that I could see.
Yep.
Theoretically. I'm going to use my reaction to take half damage on that.
Okay.
Get 3 hit points back.
Nice.
And I guess I'll make an intelligence save, which I don't feel great about.
Well, you should, because you're able to shield your mind. You're just think real hard, and this creature is not able to get into your head.
Where does the proficiencies on saving throws come from? Is that a class thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes feet, but mostly class.
Because my intelligence is really bad, but I have it checked off on the saving, so I get.
Yeah, I think rogue gets in.
I can't remember if a rogue gets. Actually, I know it's a dex save is one thing a rogue gets, but I don't remember what their other one is.
Well, that's the thing. Most of my stuff is dex, but it must be intelligence is the other.
You must have gotten something
thing
maybe on the way that gave you that.
Yeah, rogue.
It's always been that way. It's probably a class thing. I just don't remember, so I was curious.
Rogue saving throws are dex and intelligence.
Makes sense. Okay.
All right. Well, Fiffle, this creature has slashed at you. You were able to avoid the majority of the damage.
It's my turn.
Yes,
in return, I will stab it with a sword.
All right. Stabitize it.
This is going to be a plain old stabitizing. Okay.
Okay, that does hit.
Cool.
For
7.
7.
And where I can't see around me here. Where is this creature? And what else?
Let me reveal
Like
the
right
area.
here. He's like under the.
He's in a section. I mean,
He's under the little.
I can just show you.
Crossing over tunnel there.
Yeah, it's just like another tunnel.
And that crosses over above.
Yep. The creature's not within it. He's just crossing underneath it, the same as you had done.
All right. And what do I see over here? Those look gross.
They look to be some sort of pod.
Okay. And over here, just pottery?
You just see kind of like pipes, and that have just like little ends to them with holes in that. They go up about 3 feet before terminating, and you can look down. They have some sort of like steam coming out of them.
Okay. So Piffle's going to bonus action disengage.
Okay.
And scamper amongst the pipes.
The pipes are hot to the touch as you approach them.
It looks like I can go in and around them.
Yeah, you could have to be careful because they are painful to touch.
Okay. I could potentially use that to my advantage. I'm gonna be, amongst the pipes, but not, lean on them and die.
Okay. All right.
That's my bonus action, so I cannot hide. And it knows where I am anyway because it's a walking brain.
Yes. Otto.
The halfling knows where it is.
I will move up to it. This one.
Okay.
Attack it with my sword.
Okay.
Sword. Where is it?
All right. The second one strikes. And with that, you're able to cleave the creature in twain.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm waiting 1, 2, 3.
Moving right along.
All right, and I can move 3 more. I will move over here and look down this way to see what's over there.
You can see down this way. Just within the room. From what you can see, however, it looks like a metal table that has some straps on it, along where like somebody's hands and feet would be. The straps look like they could be adjusted to fit a medium or even a small-sized creature.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Guess we should investigate that after we find Fiffle. That's my turn.
Okay. Fern, you're up.
Okay. I'll go right there. And would I be able to shoot at that one that's left?
Do you have dark vision?
No.
You unfortunately wouldn't be able to see down this hallway.
Gotcha. I will just ready my bow to shoot it if I see it.
Okay. All right. You ready in action to fire upon the creature if you see it. Aurora, unfortunately, has disappeared back into the Feywild for the time being.
It's dinner time. I would go too.
Yeah, right. The Feywild sounds pretty good right now. Can we all
Right.
Yeah.
Like instead of Aurora dying, you just think like, you know what? It's dinner time. Mother called. I gotta go.
We are dealing with Fern being slightly hunted for sport from the Feywild, however.
That is the thing as well.
Bit of a sticky wicket, as it were.
Don't worry, it's when you least expect it when they show up.
My turn, or do you have more to go?
I believe it is Fern's, or Fern is done, correct?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Graham, you're up.
Graham will move up 30 feet. If I can't stand there, I'll stand on the corpse of the Intellect Devourer. And do I have range to hit that one from here?
You are...
Or sight to hit it, I should say.
I mean, you're 35 feet from it.
Okay. I do still have stuff that will reach. And as long as I've got the line to actually hit him.
Yeah. Now, do you have out something that creates light? I know you have your candle or your sword.
The glowing sword in one hand.
Okay, and that makes dim light out to 30 feet?
Whatever the moon-touched longsword does.
I
think it also generates a small amount of bright light. Did I write it down? No, I did not.
Can try and find... moon-touched sword, it creates bright light 15
feet,
and
dim light 15 feet.
It is just outside.
Wow.
As it is 35 feet away from me.
Okay. One more question. Okay, no, it's still 35 away.
Yeah, it's because it's coming directly from you. Yeah, so unfortunately it's going to just be one square outside of your range.
Does that mean I cannot see it at all?
It is within dark light, so unfortunately, no, you wouldn't be able to.
So Toll the Dead is out. Okay, here's a thing. I have something that will target a space within 120 feet. Can I tell what space it's in from the noise it's making where it is?
Make a perception check.
Make a perception check. All this for a cantrip, but hey, I'll take it.
You have a good idea. Can you give me the spell description just real quick?
Yes.
Chill touch.
It doesn't specify you have to see it. It just has to be a space with a creature in it within the range.
Yep, you create a ghostly skeletal hand in the space of a creature within range. Make a spell attack. And this would be at disadvantage, but you'd at least be able to make it.
Yeah. Okay, so disad, and once again, I'm just going to use chill touch, but it won't be chill touch. 11.
Unfortunately, your chill touch is just like you... Yep. You can tell that it doesn't hit the creature, but you think that it was close.
Okay, done.
All right. The Intellect Devourer is going to move up. It's going to move up near Fiffle. It can still kind of sense where you are, and it's going to connect to you again psionically. Fiffle, can you make another intelligence save, please?
Alrighty. Save me intelligence. Oh.
All right. So unfortunately, Fiffle, you immediately take 12 psychic damage.
Uh-huh.
And I am going to have to roll And you're in.
Now, the way Uncanny Dodge is described, there's no conditions on it, but I guess it doesn't really make sense for psionic damage, does it?
I mean, I would go by rules as written, so if it says that you can reduce the damage by half, you're able to.
Seems like a good time to do
An
it.
attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, capital A. Was that an attack action, or was it like an ability? Or...
No, that was an ability. Yeah, that's not an attack then. No. That was just forcing you to make a save to take damage, or actually, let me just double check. Let me pull up the actual Uncanny Dodge rules just so I can verify myself.
I guess it would have to do with what action the brain is taking. Was that his attack? If that was his attack, then I guess I take half damage.
Starting with a 5th level, when an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction. That's an interesting one. I would say no, because I think there's like another thing you can do where you can Isn't there like a thing you can do where like
evasion is the next thing I have at 7, and that is specific like AoE attacks, and that is physical things. Certain area effects such as an ancient red dragon's fiery breath or an ice storm spell. When you're when you're subjected to an effect that allows you to make a dexterity saving throw, you instead. Oh wait, is this 2 things?
Let's see here.
No, it's 1 thing.
Okay.
So evasion is specifically area attacks that you would make a dex save against.
Yeah, Uncanny Dodge.
If I succeed on that, I take no damage instead of half. Uncanny Dodge, though, has no such conditions.
I just looked it up. Uncanny Dodge will not work for anything that you make a save against.
Fair enough.
Okay. You're going to have to take that full 12, unfortunately.
All right.
And even more unfortunately, what is your intelligence score?
14. My intelligence is 11. I'm going to be this thing's puppet, all right?
With that blast against you, your mind blanks out completely. And
Piffle's jaw goes slack. His eyes get big. He begins to drool.
You are now, unfortunately, effectively your intelligence score is set to 0 until it is restored.
Okay. Piffle drools and stares at the wall.
Yeah, with a intelligence of 0, you're actually unable to do anything. You are considered to be, I believe, incapacitated.
Can I breathe?
Yeah, you're breathing. Like, your mind is enough. This is simply like being in a coma.
Okay. Yeah, Piffle stands there in catatonic state.
Yeah, you are considered to be stunned, mechanically speaking.
I'm assuming the 3d6 is how much his intelligence score got lowered.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, no, technically what it was it had to...
It exceeds it?
Exceed the intelligence score. It unfortunately just rolled really high.
I would say so.
And while this is going on, you are also... By walking into this room, you've attracted the attention of some other creatures, Otto.
Jesus.
Well,
so much for Piffle, guys.
Otto or Piffle?
Let's see here. I think Otto. Which
person? Me or because I'm in the hallway still.
You.
Okay.
However, what's your dex, Otto?
13.
What was it?
13.
Okay, so you actually get to go. So you see out of the dark some creatures, those like kind of humanoid looking, although like a cross between a human and an animal, as they like stalk along on the 4 feet. But they are like, you could tell if they were to stand, they would be humanoid in size and shape. Their eyes milky white, as there's just nothing behind their like anything within their brain anymore. They have been completely subverted by these mind flayers, and they are beginning to approach you. However, you're quicker on the draw than they are, so you get to go first. Or actually, oh shoot, actually no, I'm sorry, you have a 20. I thought you had a 21.
Yeah, I had a 20. You can go first. Hey, you rolled good.
Yeah, so one.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
One of them runs towards you. It's gonna make a claw attack against you.
Miss.
It makes a second one against you,
Yes.
dealing 8 slashing damage. Its friend runs 5, and its friend is going to actually use. Yeah, it's going to go 5, and then it's going to start climbing the wall because it has a climb speed, and it's going to go another 5, 10, and it's going to drop behind you and Fern, and it's going to make another attack against you, Otto. So it's going to miss and also miss.
19,
All
by the way.
fingers.
19. Okay.
That's my AC.
Okay. But now that these creatures are gone, you are free to go.
Oi. I'm gonna attack this one twice.
Okay, go ahead.
Uh,
That hits. Go and roll damage. All right. Also a hit. The creature is badly injured, but is still standing.
Can I do anything? I don't think I can do anything. I'm like. I'm 1 level 2, but that doesn't really help me here. Okay, that's it.
Okay. Fern, you're up. You have seen this creature drop behind you and Otto. And you've also heard the yelp of Fiffle.
Well, I don't know where Fiffle is because I can't see him. So, I will attack this one in front of me with my with my short sword. I was about to say, I don't have a long sword.
The first attack misses the creature, but the second one does hit. Let me just pull out my calculator just to make sure I'm doing the numbers right.
Poop on the nose, motherfucker.
Do the numbers good.
Yeah. All right. The creature is wounded, but does not seem to really notice or care about the wound it has suffered.
Me too, buddy.
Did you wish to do anything else with your turn?
I assume I heard Fiffle yelp also, and I just told Graham to go.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you all would have heard the Fiffle yelp.
Yeah, I'll just tell Graham to go help Fiffle. Yeah, I'll just make sure that Graham knows to go help Fiffle.
All right.
I could try to rabbit hop that way. If you want to deal with these two,
It doesn't matter to me.
move that way. I don't know which one would be better.
How healthy are you right now? Like, if you've got a lot of hit points, I would say maybe rabbit hop behind them. If you're beat up, I would kind of minimize how much.
I'm a little over halfway. I don't know what Fern's at.
I'm at 36 out of 60.
Probably best to be conservative then.
All right. Well, I can rabbit hop 15 feet.
This will be a pain in the ass. Can you actually see the rabbit hop?
She would be able to. There is dim light being created by the teleportation circle that you traveled through, as well as Graham's sword.
Okay.
So it'll put me like there, 5, 10, 15.
And yep.
I
So
don't
it does
provoke opportunity attacks.
Yep. So you're able to hop away from it, no trouble.
So I was gonna say, how does an opportunity attack work? If she did that and I have Sentinel, do I Sentinel the opportunity attack?
I don't quite know.
I don't even know either.
Let me double check just to be safe. When it makes an attack against a target other than you, and that target doesn't have the feat, you can use your reaction to make a melee weapon attack. I would say, yeah, you'd probably be able to.
It sounds like it. It's just It's the cause on you. That's why I was wondering because it seems like that's going to happen at some point.
I think it would count because it would be considered as an attack.
I think as long as you are using your reaction in response on anything but your turn, like as long as it's a valid occasion to spend the reaction, then I think an attack is an attack is an attack.
Yeah, I would say you would be able to.
Ooh. I think we're good because she doesn't provoke it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Graham, you're up.
Okay. I'm gonna move another 30. And I see it from either here or here.
I think you should be able to. Let me just pull it out.
And that should also put it within the light.
Yeah, you can see it is not is within light, so you can easily see it. You have line of sight on it. You can see that Fiffle has kind of like fallen over and is just eyes white. He just like slumped over. You can see him breathing, so you know he's not dead, but he definitely is not within. He's obviously had something happen to him.
How does the Intellect Devourer look health-wise?
The Intellect Devourer is hurt, pretty badly hurt.
Okay.
But it is still standing.
Then I'm gonna try to toll the dead. DC 15 Wisdom.
All right. It is going to make that Wisdom save, and it is going to fail. Roll the damage.
10 necrotic.
All right. The creature. You can see like the flesh necrotize, but not all the way through. The Intellect Devourer, you can tell, is hurt, but still standing.
Okay.
Still ready to rumble.
The heavyweight bout right here. Going down.
All right. Intellect Devourer being attacked. It's going to
devour an intellect.
Let's see here.
It's going to evolve into an elder brain.
No, the Intellect Devourer is not going to focus on Fiffle as it is still under attack. So it's going to go 5, 10, and it is going to... It's going to move right next to you, Graham. It's going to make a claw attack against you. Failing.
Misses.
And then it's going to psionically connect with you. Go ahead and give me an intelligence save, please.
Shouldn't be at disadvantage, so 23.
Yeah. Either way, you were fine. You're able to... You can feel it kind of like trying to worm its way in, but you're able to just like steady your mind and protect yourself from being attacked by this creature.
Hey, shoot.
Your mind pushes back. You assert authority.
Fiffle, you are unfortunately still out of it as the creature has just devoured your intellect.
As they do.
The Quaggoths, however, next to Otto, they're going to make... First one's going to make a claw attack. Second claw attack. The other Quaggoth is going to make a claw attack against you as well. Hitting.
It's...
Dealing 5 slashing damage. And with a 19 as your AC, it is going to miss that one as well. So they're pinning you in position.
All right. I'm going to hit the one in the hallway, this one over here.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit. That does hit, as you could be sure. Right. The creature has taken a mighty blow. You've been able to cleave into it quite successfully, but it is still standing. It's the... Yep, that also hits. And with that, you're able to just slice through the creature along the neck. It does not seem to notice the wound, but with all the blood pouring out of it, it eventually does collapse over after just a moment or two.
Okay, and I'll move over here to cover Fern.
Okay. And
that's it.
Fern, you're up.
All right. I would be able to see this Intellect Devourer here.
Yep, it is actually within bright light within Graham's sword.
Good. Okay. I will attempt to shoot it at them.
All right. For a beautiful 9. The creature is attempting to psionically kill Graham, but the arrow just sinks into its side and it just seizes up and falls over.
Hey.
Fern shouts frequency interruption.
And then, would I be able to see the other one from here?
Yeah, you'd be
That
able to
this
see it next to. It would be within dim light being produced by the teleportation circle.
Then I will go ahead and shoot that one and probably miss.
Unfortunately, yep, your arrow just kind of just collide, like the thick hide, the arrow just bounces off.
Cool. That's it then for me.
All right. Graham, the intellect devourer in front of you has collapsed over dead.
Okay. Seeing as it's kind of bottlenecked behind me, I'm gonna just go check on Fiffle. Can I tell what would cure his brain drain?
Looking at Fiffle, because your magic is religious in nature, make a religion check.
I will make a religion check. 16.
You would probably need to use some sort of either a healing potion or you would need to use a greater restoration.
Okay, I can't do greater restoration.
And
When you say a potion, like just a regular healing potion?
You suspect this would need to be something specially tailored to restore intelligence.
Okay, so at the moment, we are up a creek.
Sort of potion of wicked smartness.
Uh,
How about them apples?
Graham will, I guess, pick up Fiffle and just kind of Yoda backpack him.
Fiffle's head just kind of lolls.
Yeah, Fiffle, you are completely out of it. You are unaware of anything that's happening. Graham, I want you to give me a dex save as you attempt to grab Fiffle.
18.
You're able to easily like get your hands and arms in between these hot pipes, and you're able to just lift up Fiffle and just carefully extract him like a really horrifying game of Operation.
Lucky he didn't roll over into one when he had a tonic.
You are able to avoid burning yourself or Fiffle.
I was actually thinking that it's like I'm surprised Fiffle didn't like set himself on fire.
Well, we take those.
All
wins, we take them.
Did you wish to do anything else with your turn, Graham?
Graham will start moving back with Fiffle in tow.
Okay.
So I think it was like, let's call it 15 feet. So I'll start moving back with him.
Yeah, Fiffle is about 50 pounds.
Okay.
Not horrifyingly heavy, and Graham's a tough farm guy.
Graham's got a 19 strength. He's
Graham's been tossing around. He's the kind of guy who would
like a hay bale.
Yeah, pick up sheep and kind of carry him around to get over the walls. Intellect developers are all dead. Fiffle is out of commission. Quaggoth, focusing entirely upon Otto, is going to make a claw attack and a second one. Unable to just get through your thick armor or get by your shield. So, Otto, you're up.
Okay. Double swing.
Okay, that hits.
That'll probably miss. But...
and unfortunately, yeah. Putting it. Creature is taking a number of attacks, but is still maintaining its composure.
I'll push V and use shove. Just kidding, that's my turn.
And unfortunately, a shove is is not a bonus action.
It's so funny.
As amusing as it is. But Fern, you are up.
Alright, so let me try to shoot this dude one more time, or two more times.
Capital idea.
Okay. The arrow strikes into the body of the creature. And also, the animal just Otto, you just see these two arrows fly past one side, like the right of your head and then the left of your head, striking into this creature, sinking in deep. The animal, this Quaggoth, does not flinch, but you can definitely see the arrows going deep almost to the feathering, to the and just you see blood beginning to pour out from the wounds.
Otto's wondering, I wonder if these feathers are pretty good for anything.
The fletching of the arrow is the word I was trying to think. Graham, you're up. You have a Fiffle in tow.
Okay. Graham will 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 with Fiffle.
Okay.
And I'm going to toll the dead on the I almost said Quokka.
Quagga.
It's not a Quokka, it's a
I like it.
Quaggoth.
I like it. Toll the
Wisdom
quokka.
save DC 15.
Okay.
Toll the quokka.
It fails. Go ahead, roll damage on that bad boy.
13 necrotic.
And with that, you see the creature just the necrotic energy just flow through this creature, and it just shrivels up and desiccates instantly in front of you.
All right.
I'm going to turn back to Graham and just say, humor me here. We should burn these bodies in case Mr. Necrofer guy comes up and resurrects them.
Not a bad idea. At least mush them up real good.
Yep.
Fiffle's down and out. I think that thing did a thing to him.
Yeah, and can lay on hands actually restore a stat? I don't know, actually. Let's find out.
I believe it can stop a poison or a disease.
That's what I got.
One poison. You can neutralize one disease or poison. Unfortunately, this is not a disease or a poison. It is a powerful psionic attack against the creature.
Okay, no, I just figured I'd ask.
Yeah.
You never know anymore.
I'm a little SOL myself.
Let's get in this. Like, they came out of this room down here. Let's probably get in this room and like.
Yeah. See if we can secure the area, find some place to hole up, and I'm
assuming if they're making things down here also, maybe they have a potion or something for what.
Yeah, while we're doing that, Graham was going to ask Fern if her knowledge of nature, like ingredients, could help us figure out what would go into a potion to cure the brain drain.
Is this a body?
Yeah.
Shadowheart, is that you?
You can actually see strapped to the table. One is looks to be a human, and the other one looks to be a gnome. The top of the head has been cut off, and the skull is empty, having had the brain extracted from it.
Oh God, we probably killed him.
I'm going to bring Aurora back with one spell slot.
Can I look around here? Somebody assist me, maybe find something.
Yeah, to investigate.
Aurora appears in front of you.
Graham is also going to check the bodies.
And then I can try to do, I don't know, a nature to.
And my investigation is for the room.
Okay. All right. So let's see here. Well, we'll just have Graham investigate, having been assisted by Otto. Looking through the room, you can see a number of surgical tools that would be right here. Scalpels, what looks to be some sort of a saw, as well as like these kind of large, wide tongs, and a number of like scissors. All of them are in excellent shape. They have been just kind of placed into a shallow, kind of like acritic smelling liquid that looks to be some sort of a disinfectant. They all appear to be in excellent condition, incredibly sharp where they need to be. You do see that there is a small amount of brain matter floating within the actual solution that they are resting in. You can see also, a number of there are a couple of tanks that have they have a brain floating within it. The brains are beginning to change shape and have small little legs growing out of them, and are beginning to kind of enlarge in size. It looks like these are intellect developers in the making.
Like a button to like flush this out or destroy them?
You don't see any buttons. They just appear to be resting within a sealed tank with a metal covering over it. The glass is clear, and the brine they are within just allows them to float, just kind of suspended right in the middle.
When you say growing, do they look like it's going to take a long time, or are they like actively metabolizing before our eyes?
Doesn't appear to be doing anything quickly.
Okay. They're kind of in there.
You would suspect it would be over the course of maybe at least a couple hours, maybe longer, like days, but definitely not within seconds to minutes.
Okay.
As they are also not They are only a little bit larger than a brain size. They are not that kind of large Maine Coon size that would be a intellect devour.
Okay.
All right. So, and did we also mutilate the body so they can't come back?
Did you?
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Otto mutilates the bodies.
They're just brains. Just give them a good squish.
That and these specifically.
Otto smushes the brains.
Just doing the Isaac Clarke rounds, just stomping on everything that you just
I've
killed.
seen enough knuckle first shit for a lifetime. All right.
Okay.
And definitely nothing with like to help Fiffle here, right?
You did not see anything.
Give me some of that brain juice.
Fiffle
can't speak, so you don't hear him say.
I mean, I can throw brain juice at you if you want.
I don't recommend the brain juice. Homies don't let homies drink formaldehyde.
I'm gonna ask if Stephanie's character is like, hey, got anything that might be able to help him?
Let me pull her character up real quick.
I would guess no, because Greater Restoration is a fucking 5th level spell in this edition.
She just shrugs her shoulders.
Damn.
Yeah, she's gonna look at him. I could have given her a D4 too if you want to do that.
Yeah, I'll add a D4 into there. She just kind of grunts and just from her bag produces an empty vial and kind of points at it. And then just kind of pantomimes like pouring liquids into it and shakes it. And then kind of like pantomimes drinking it back.
So you could make one, but we don't have the stuff?
She,
what potion? Do we know of a potion that would emulate greater restoration and what it would require?
You can make an Arcana check, or you can make a Medicine check.
We'll do an Arcana check. Come on, dice.
Can I do a medicine?
Yes, you can.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
Wow. All right.
Twinsies.
We're gonna save you, Fiffle, one way or the other.
With Graham and Lena working together, thinking about a potion, you're kind of like just bouncing ideas back and forth of each other. Like, actually, how do you bounce ideas back and forth off of each other? Thinking about it.
We throw paper airplanes at each other.
Graham will rattle off some of the stuff he knows that goes into tonics and potions and salves that Church of Eidos does, like their herbs, incense, things they know to be helpful for one thing or another, and see what kind of has an overlap with mind stuff versus like peace and rest and recuperation stuff.
Okay. And Fern, you're bouncing some ideas off of Graham. Like, what do you think of for attempting to restore intelligence to something that had its mind drained?
Based from the Feywilds.
Could be like, yeah, herbs you found in the Feywild, some medical training. Lena?
She's dead.
Oh,
Winston.
you can't hear me?
No, sorry,
Okay.
sorry.
Oh yeah, I was saying, yeah, should think about her knowledge of herbs from nature and the Feywild, and her mentor, who was a druid,
Okay.
so would probably know more about nature as well. That type of thing.
Was your mentor Kagda or Hausen?
Neither.
Thinking about all of this together, working together, you have an idea of what you could mix together that would not necessarily count as a greater restoration, but would be able to restore intelligence to somebody whose like mind has been drained. And logically thinking about this, you would suspect that something like this probably would be within this area, not in this room, because you looked around and couldn't find anything, but they would probably have something here that would be useful for restoring that kind of intelligence.
One more question. Up here
No,
near where Otto is standing, is there more room there, or is that where it blocks off?
Nope. As you look in, you can see more of the room. I'll just show you what you're seeing. Yeah, you see more of those steam pipes, and you can actually see that it is that there's an incline that kind of goes up and relatively steep at about a 45-degree angle, heading up about 10 feet.
maybe we should check the room those devourers came from.
Yeah. First, let's investigate this stuff
Yeah.
here. Can I get assistance?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you'd be able
21.
to see the hallway. Okay. Graham, looking around, this area you're in is pretty empty. It looks like it just has a couple of the steam vents as well as just basically being a throughway to get to the upper level of this lair.
All right. Let's go check the Devourer room.
Okay.
Another roll or keep the same roll?
I would give it another roll because it's a new room.
Just
16.
Within this room, you can see a number of chairs. They are all circled around this one strange-looking device. The device itself has a number of little metal prongs sticking out of it, each pointing to the chair facing it. It looks like some sort of room where people would commune within it. For whatever reason, you're not entirely sure. It looks like the intellect developers themselves were simply guarding it. You do see to the bottom, however, a number of discarded trinkets. Just kind of laying in a pile. Most of it is pretty basic stuff. You can see some rags, some clothes, discarded worn boots. Looks like they've really only been dragged in here and were in the process of, as you can see, being pulled apart and being tagged, as a number of them have been pulled away and have been had some sort of like a little kind of almost paper inscription with something inscribed on it, and that has been like pinned to each of them.
Grim. Okay.
And
what does the
actually,
inscription say?
it is in a language you are unable to read.
God,
Although,
English.
actually, Graham, can you give me another investigation roll as you peer over this item? This
Nice.
I was gonna say, can I assist him, but he doesn't need it.
Yeah, Graham, let me pull it up here.
Hold on, my theme song is playing.
Here we are. Graham, you're looking through and you're digging through this, and most of this is simply just junk. It is mostly clothes. There's a few trinkets that people had utilized. I mean, you're looking through a section that is just like little woven decorations. Some of it looks like religious iconography that would be utilized by people who would worship various gods. You can recognize a lot of the gods that had been worshipped in Viderheim, a couple from the Orwellan Empire. However, one piece that it just catches your eye, and at first it doesn't really appear to be much, but you can see that as you kind of pull away some of the grass and other things have been added to it, it is a very finely made kind of piece of jewelry, and where most people just see like maybe a necklace with just a kind of silver and a very clear piece of glass inside, probably not even really worth terribly much, you would just immediately identify this thing. This is going to be an amulet of the devout. It is attuned currently, like the way that has been, you can tell, just don't need a religion roll in this. it has been attuned to let's see, Erald, the Viderheim god of light and sun. But you believe with a little bit of work, like if you were to simply spend an hour sitting, praying, meditating over this, you could probably get this to be attuned to Eidos.
Cool. Graham will tuck that away and do that if we rest. This will be useful.
And I will have the exact stats for this amulet of devout.
I'm assuming it'll be like the +1 version.
Oh no, it's better than that.
Ooh.
Here we are. It's a +2 amulet of the devout.
Sick.
And so there you go.
Nice.
And yes, it would require attunement as you readjust it to utilize the kind of divine energy of Eidos. All right. Graham, are you in the room?
For, but I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. Are you in the room by yourself, or?
If people went with me,
I'm with them because I assisted him in his little.
Okay.
Okay. And of course, you'd also be carrying Fiffle.
Yep.
Yeah.
While you're
just put him in a chair.
Sure, him.
While this is going on, and you're looking over this, you can actually hear a voice from behind you, a familiar voice you've heard a couple times before. You seem like you're all in a bit of trouble. Do you need any of help from me? And you can see a beautiful elvish woman. Greetings, Anya Kind at your service. We had spoken previously. I should mention I was investigating the Shaper, and I found some more information if you're interested in a trade.
Well, potentially.
Of course, if you're in need of some assistance, I can always provide perhaps a safe space to rest.
And what would the cost be for that?
Well, and she just snaps her fingers, and a burst of fire appears in the air, and floating from there is a thick piece of vellum with just writing on it. She produces a quill. There you are. If you just sign there. The terms are pretty simple. I provide an area for you all to get a lovely rest, and in return, I get a favor from you.
What are the limits of this favor?
The limits of the favor are I can call it in at any time I desire. And if you fail to enact the favor, I take your souls.
I mean, barring the...
We're not using those anyway.
I mean, barring we fail to enact the favor, our souls are free, right?
I'm as wonderful as your souls all are. I would consider it disproportionate to take your souls for just a rest, and I imagine you would as well. I believe in making deals that everyone can find fair. However, I also want your souls, so...
I mean, fair, everybody wants their souls.
So, the favor you give us has to be meaningfully accomplishable, yeah?
Of course. I will let you on a little secret here. I'm a mercenary. People trade me things. I trade them things. People come to me. I will be contracting out the favor I owe that you are going to owe to me to them. So they're going to expect that to be done. So I can't reasonably make it impossible for you to stop.
You scratch our back, we scratch your back.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm gonna insight her and I guess look at the contract, because my gut is if paper and ink are coming into this, we might need to fuck all the way off.
Okay. Roll me an insight check, please.
That's not great.
As far as you can tell, she is on the level.
Damn.
So
I'm assuming the contract is legible to us, mere mortals.
the contract is written in a script you're unable to read. But however, she just kind of waves her hand over it, and it goes from the language it was written in into common. And in fact, it does say very plainly, the provider, Anakind, will allow the signers of this contract an area where they may safely rest and recuperate, where they will be healed of deliberating effects. In return, they will owe the contract holder a single favor that may be called in at any time and must be fulfilled by the signers. Otherwise, their souls are forfeit. Any attempt to break contract is unacceptable and will result in their souls being forfeit. Any attempt to find a loophole or somebody who can protect their souls is unacceptable and will result in their souls being immediately forfeit.
Is there any protective language about her applying loopholes or gaming the terms of the bargain?
No, nothing you can see. In fact, the contract seems pretty in her favor. But it does very clearly state that she will provide a safe location for you all to rest, and that she will reverse any debilitating effects on anybody.
Is there anything that says her favor will be time sensitive?
Nope. It can be collected at any point, at any time that she wants.
And it doesn't specify like the limits of things she can ask for as long as we can do them. So she could be like, murder the Duke.
She does not specify what can or can't be done by you, and it does not actually mention that the favor can't be impossible as far as your abilities go. Although, as she said, she wouldn't be doing that, as she would be contracting you out to another person and would thus reasonably expect you to be able to complete the job.
Well, I ain't gonna pretend you don't have the better of this exchange.
Yep.
We're over there.
I would, however, posit that despite appearances and our best efforts, we've come a lot further than we ought have. And at this point, I like to think we're someone to know. All that to say, if you don't play games with this, and we don't play games with you, you might stand to benefit from more than just a rest and a soul contract.
Oh, and what do you have in mind?
Well, that depends on how all this goes and what word I have offered about that kind of thing.
We'll make the words on the contract here.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm assuming you're just saying don't screw us over, and we'll work with you more. We're more likely to work with you on more advanced things.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Graham.
Oh, it's a very human moral reasoning you got going on here.
Well, no, I'm basically pointing out we're valuable enough that you probably don't want to just
destroy our souls.
Just get a one and done. Yeah. Whereas if you work with us instead of just taking advantage, then this might pay better dividends for you in the future. Enlightened self-interest.
All right, let me just take a look here if I can find. Nope, that's
Graham will also point out, as a man of the cloth, such as it were, or the man of the plate, he knows what a soul is and isn't worth, and what kind of risks are acceptable to entail if you're going to barter for one.
Was it this one? Nope.
Let's go to the helm.
See... Look. We've been able to figure it out. I'm a fiend. I know the weight of a soul, especially yours all. She looks to you, Otto, and I especially know that there's some who are after yours, of course. But I'll tell you what. If it's going to make you feel better, and Her elvish form kind of shimmers and appears before you as a tall, well dressed in fancy robes, fine, a almost fox or maybe sort of a coyote like creature standing in front of you. Long nose, the pointed ears. Here I am in my true form. If that
Howdy.
makes you feel any better, just so we can remove any issues between us, I've given you the terms of the contract. The favor that I will be asking of you, I feel would be something that you'd all be able to do. Your moral complications aside, I don't particularly care. If I ask you to do something that you are morally concerned about, too bad. That's not my problem. The limits are here on the paper. Any attempt to weasel out of it would be not in your favor. My favor, though. And honestly, probably what's going to happen, I'm going to need to do some work for somebody, and I'm going to contract you to do the job for them. Who it is, what they want, I don't know yet. That's the truth. I've been quite clear with you that I am a mercenary, and I do mercenary things. But then again, so are you, so perhaps we are more akin than you might think.
One last insight check, or is this just kind of spinning the same wheel over
You
and
can do
over?
another one if you'd like.
Fucking god damn it.
She appears
Hey,
to
you
be on
want
the
to trade
level.
with the devil? Here's a 5. Eat a
I'll
dick.
insight that too. I had to step up for a second. I'll insight that too. Hang on.
Sure.
That's better.
Yeah. As far as you can tell, she is on the level. She'll give you a rest.
I can tell Graham. I can tell Graham is like struggling, and I was like, she's not bullshitting you.
Well,
That's
this
as
is
clean
everyone's
cut as you're
call.
gonna get. Yeah, I'll say that's as clean cut as you're gonna get.
From a Fae.
No, not from the Fae, from a fiend. I would
Hey,
go for a Fae
fiend.
pact.
Piffle's unconscious. His tongue lolls and he drools some more.
Nobody has power of attorney, so we can't sign for him.
Oh, you
Does it?
lot have been traveling together, healing each other, ensuring the safety. He would be considered part of your group. You have to sign as a whole.
On that note, does it say the Crossblades Guild, specifically the entire organization, or just this specific group, like just us?
That's a great question. Good job, Lawyer Graham.
It's the Crossblades Adventuring Band.
I'm assuming
Get your hurdy-gurdy.
that it's the terms are as stated. They benefit her, but there's nothing like that in there.
It simply says the signers, and it does list your specific names.
Okay. Are we going for it? Everybody's call.
I mean, we do need a rest. I don't know if we're gonna make it out of here without it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Piffle
our
drools on the floor in his direction.
not great.
Trust me, it gets worse from here.
Oh, God.
Shocker.
Like I said, I was able to find out a lot more information about the Shaper. Of course, if you want that information, I'd have to.
Suppose we trade that for a little bit of information about a recently late for the second time Arwellen Researcher.
Maybe. What sort of information?
Are you familiar with Zapfeller, the brain in the tank going around?
I am familiar with the fact that is not Zapfeller, as I witnessed his death.
Yeah, that would
The
do it.
actual one?
Technically, I traded for witnessing his death, but the point remains. His death was observed, and I am privy to that information.
Gotcha. Okay.
Although, if you're interested in that, I do have that memory if you'd like it. However, it will cost you.
Yeah, I think I've
seen enough.
got a few too many purchases to worry about for that kind of thing.
It does look, you're looking at this in the wrong way. This is simply opportunity knocking. You're
That
thinking
sounds
of
like
this like I'm trying to get the better of you. But really, what I'm trying to do is to further your journeys because I believe in you and I think that you can achieve great things. And now, also, you'll be able to achieve great things for me, but such is life. And
yeah.
besides, maybe you like what I have to offer. I mean, let's be honest, I'm capable of providing you many different things.
Yeah, but usually the cost is a little steep. Well,
I mean, we're gonna get in trouble one way or the other.
hmm. Well, if we got a sign, we got a sign.
Otto, step up and sign,
She
and
produces a
then I
little
draw a stick,
jar.
and I draw a stick figure on the floor vomiting for Kaido. That's for the
It's what
dumbass.
he would have wanted.
You know which one.
She produces a little jar of ink. The jar itself is kind of a dark red color. Just make sure to sign there. And initial. And everybody, I will also require you to just place a little bit of your own blood on there as well, just to seal things in quite well.
Piffle just drools on the contract. You have to prick his finger to get blood.
I don't need a lot, just a little blob of blood, just enough for me to.
And bleeding, so here you go. Here's your blood.
Something pound of flesh. Nope.
The satyr woman.
Getting a phone call. Excuse.
She takes the quill and she pricks her thumb and she places on the paper and then she signs her name as well. Once everyone's done that, the fiend kind of just waves her hand and you find yourself out of the lair you were in and in a just massive library. It is a large room about like 40 feet from one wall to the other wall and just bookcases stretching by like the entire way down further than you can see, stretching up past your vision. Books, scrolls, tomes, all sorts of different things. She waves her hand and the bookcases kind of shift aside and you find yourself looking into a room. There is a long table filled with food, different kinds of food, smells delicious. A number of servants await, standing behind the kind of tall backed chairs, each of them wearing a mask, white on one side, black on the other. No mouth or eye holes, but they don't seem to notice or care. Each of them appears human or humanoid in shape. Enter in. Enjoy the food. Let no one say I was a poor host. Oh, and I'm dreadfully sorry. She kind of waves her hand over Fiffle. And Fiffle, your intelligence immediately returns to what it was before, and you are no longer deaf.
Oh God, you really did just have the gauntlet run on you, didn't you?
Piffle,
I'm just gonna be like, can you hear us, Biffle? Like a super booming
Look
loud.
how they massacred my boy.
Piffle. Yeah, Piffle kind of staggers to his feet, and then he just kind of staggers over to the nearest corner and passes out.
Oh, he seems to have had a difficult time.
Like as he stirs, like, hey Fiffle, there's a few things I should catch you.
And he's out.
Well, honestly, I kind of envy him.
If you wish to take a sleep, she produces it's a kind of flute, not the instrument, of course, a flute glass filled with a kind of like greenish liquid with a little bit of kind of Not sure what it is, kind of floating at like a foam almost. I've promised you all a safe area we may rest and recuperate. No harm may befall any of you here, at least from my hands or the hands of anything of my servants. If you wish to kill each other, that's your own business, but.
Only sometimes.
And if you wish to sleep, I produce, and she just places it in front of you. Drink deep, and in 8 hours you will awaken, rest, and refreshed. However, if you don't wish to partake of that, if you have other things you need to take care of first, or wish to simply rest as you mortals normally do, then be my guest.
Alright.
Mortals doing mortal stuff.
Just mortal things. I guess long rest, and we can. I don't know if there's any information we have that she doesn't already know that we could trade for additional information, because kind of low on things to trade that aren't souls, and I don't want to fucking do that. This is already bad enough.
I don't know if she would know about the Feywild hunt thing that's going on.
That's true.
Oh, yes. Quite a bit.
What about this spell book from the Spirit Caller? Does this qualify as magic items?
Well, I mean, these spells are nice and all, but this is something I have. I mean, I suppose I can trade you a crumb of information for it. I'm sure there's some wizard somewhere who would sell quite a bit for this.
Yeah, I was planning to give it to our Tabaxi bro, but he decided to fly the coop.
Oh, he's on quite the adventure.
Right back.
He signed his soul over to me like 4 times.
I'm gonna look at Graham and says, "I know you're joking, but he probably did."
I was trying not to think about
Uh,
Oh, no, no, no. He's on a investigation, and perhaps I'll visit him and offer him a little bit of help.
I think he needs more than a little bit of help. A lot of help. A lot.
What other info might we have to trade?
Kind of curious, are the books off limits to read? Or can we not read them?
Oh, they're all in Infernal. If you can read it, be my guest.
I guess not. Guess that means off limits.
I mean, if you're truly, truly interested, I have a couple in common.
Did we ever tell her about the weird abandoned inn we found that took us to the party where we got hurdy-gurdies and murder things?
I don't believe you mentioned that to her now.
Graham will tell her that story for information and see if she finds that worthwhile.
Interesting.
Graham will produce the hurdy-gurdy that he brought out along with the needle and thread from that adventure.
Don't forget the masks before that, too.
The old hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah, I think I have golden teeth or something from it.
I think you got skulls.
Oh,
And the number of teeth was like the value.
something.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I have it
Something
written
though.
down somewhere. Interesting. Do you know what entity created this area?
What was it? I can't remember his damn name.
We did, I think, right?
He did tell us who he was.
The mask guy, the fucking Halloween mask guy.
Gleevik.
Gleevik.
Yeah, Gleevik. There you go.
Name Gleevik familiar to you?
No.
He also tried to trade, what was it? Youth?
That was a
The
different
Chungus?
guy, but
No, I think he was related to Gleevik, though, right?
it's just another random weirdo you found in the woods.
I'm sure we'll find a bunch of more random weirdos in the woods anyway.
Honestly, I only tossed that guy in because I needed to kill like 15 minutes.
And now you have a character that might show up randomly.
Create problems on purpose.
It's Gleevik's twin brother, Beevik.
I have a theory about who this Gleevik person either is or is working for.
I'm kind of curious. He's a pain. Yeah, he's probably gonna show up pretty soon again too. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Oh
probably.
God, I have a nightmare.
Well, are you willing to trade your story about your in adventure for my theory?
I'd rather have some of that information about the Shaper if that's in the offing.
The Shaper is an illithid.
Makes sense.
Did you wish to trade anything else for more information about the Shaper?
Yeah.
What would you like to trade? When I said I was giving you a crumb of information, I meant a very small portion. I probably should have specified that.
Can I trade Kaido's soul for more information?
Well, he didn't
Better not.
sign the contract here, although he is attempting to make his way down to you all.
Oh God, he's
Yeah.
probably going down the wrong way on a one-way street.
Trying to think of other shit. We had the Shadowfell adventure. We fought the Tanner and went to that place. You've got his sword.
I don't think I have his sword yet. I just have the.
I thought you took it in your dream, and that was your pact weapon.
I think I gotta be level 3 for Warlock for pack weapon. That's not like that's not a character.
I see.
I think that'll like this is also out of character. I think that's when I do the ritual for this flesh that I'm looking around.
That'll be like the friggin' wrapping on the handguard. Probably will be, now that I say it. I guess we can tell those stories and just see if we can do like a Fallen London trading stories for resources deal with our adventures.
Okay, start trading stories. Give me a performance roll as you not only attempt to remember, but the details of the story, but also just make it in a very
Compelling
entertaining, compelling.
Can I, because Graham is doing this with everybody there, can I like
advantage.
outsource that to the best performance of the party?
I mean, do you want me to do the telling?
Whoever's got a good performance score, because it ain't me. I got a +1.
I have a +5.
Nice.
Okay.
So, is it an advantage?
I would say you were able to outsource this to Otto. So you would just be rolling your performance. You're able to add in your Okay, so going over, you're able to tell your adventurers to the best of your ability from start to finish. And the fiend before you, she's just kind of writing it all down.
Controlled fire. That's like the conclusion of like our fucking adventures. Controlled fire.
Fascinating. And so you are. She looks to you, Otto. You're working for the flayed one.
Yep.
That's a conflict of interest if I've ever heard one. She just kind of keeps writing that down.
Bold move, Cotton.
Fascinating. Fascinating. Well, now we begin the negotiation. So you're looking for information on the Shaper.
Yep.
And you're willing to trade this? Okay. I can provide you a vast quantity of information about the Shaper, if that's what you're truly interested in. But these stories could be acquired from other people quite easily, so why should I be giving you information when I could simply just go to them for it? Just be more of a matter of hunting them down, if anything.
One, we're first-party witnesses to what's happened.
Yeah, first-hand account of what actually happened instead of third.
2, you get the full context of it. And 3, you probably want to give us information at a discount anyway, considering we're now officially assets to you and our success is yours.
Graham, make a persuasion roll. With all that together, it's a lower DC.
Oh my god.
Well, let's call ourselves associates in waiting. Yes, this is all good. However, and I'm going to be honest with you on. I do hope you don't take this with this. I don't mean this as an insult. You can, in fact, be first party witnesses, but at the same time, your additional context is limited as you are directly in the middle. And being able to look out at it as an outside observer from multiple different angles gives you a better idea of the full context and story of it. So I do appreciate the first insight, but it is unfortunately not going to be the most beneficial. Surely to understand, you probably don't want to read somebody's more biased opinion on a subject that has occurred.
No, but you've got perspective and an advantage that most people wouldn't be able to get, because if you have the first person account and you have the outside account, you've got the full picture in a way that people who just are looking in from outside can't.
This is true. Give me another persuasion roll, please.
Time for a 4. Okay, that's a little better.
All right. I will tell you a little bit more about the Shaper. The Shaper is an illithid. It's gathered together other illithids of his kind. He has been down here for quite a while, but more importantly, and perhaps more importantly to you, he is not from this plane. He comes from a different plane of existence and has only come here to do his experiments.
So he's not a native to this plane.
No.
The good news is that means I could punt him. The bad news is that means he wouldn't be dead, but we may not be able to make that happen without some help anyway.
Also, and you may have gathered this already, he is well aware of your presence. He had already been able to detect you to an extent, and more so in the lab, especially with the psionic connection to him. But now that you're within his lair, he has the psionic capability of determining where you are at all times, and then telepathically projecting that information to anybody within the layer that he chooses.
That tracks.
How can we protect our weak and puny brains from him?
Oh, I can help you with that. I have a mind blank spell.
But that's my normal state.
Oh, I'm sure you believe that, but do recall, you did get your mind devoured. Your intellect was devoured by the walking brain.
Yeah, I didn't notice anything.
I would recommend taking it.
All right.
Well, I'm not giving it away for free.
How long does it last?
24 hours.
Okay. You reckon we're going to be fighting him in 24 hours?
That one's up to you.
How close are we to him within 24 hours?
I mean, I'd say you're within 24 hours.
I'll tell you what.
In fact, if anything, I'd say you're within 12 hours.
We'll work out the cost if we want to pay it. We'll pay it if we want to.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take our rest, and after we're ready to head out, as we're leaving, you give us the spell.
Well, we'll negotiate a price for the spell, but we don't need to worry about that until after your rest. Because, as I said, I'm trying to be as fair as I can within my very nature to you all.
Well, cross that bridge when we come to it, I guess.
Yeah.
For now, I guess we might as well get our rest in.
Oh, and if you wish for any more additional information, for example, I actually know the group that your Tabaxi friend is looking after. The one that destroyed his village?
Yeah, I figured.
As much as I would like information on that, if he's not coming back, I don't care about his village right now.
Oh, well, fair enough. Did you know that at one point he went bald? Did you ever see a Sphinx Tabaxi?
That's amazing.
That one's for free, just because I personally find it amusing.
Well, the real problem here is that we've only got one thing to trade you, and it's kind of off the table.
Oh, what would that be?
You know what? What
No.
else are you looking for?
Knowledge, magic items,
Uh,
favors.
uh, need the meeting invite again
Oh,
for Jeremy. He had his battery disconnect.
yeah, 1 second. I gotta pause real quick. Okay, so Jeremy's back. Anyway, yes, if you're looking for anything to trade, favors, magic items, knowledge.
We could tell her all the stuff we ran into with the samples they're currently in testing with, like the things the Shapers made in the
Oh,
test environment.
oh no, 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 that's all right. I'm well aware. In fact, those were some of
Figures.
the first things I found. See, I had to find out about those before I found out the information about the Shaper.
I did just get a magic item, but it would be really, really nice to keep that magic item. I have the sword, but we also need sources of light. Um,
Your
Exactly.
amulet devotion is nice, and as much as I'd love to corrupt it, or at least sell it to somebody who would corrupt it, I generally don't track in divine tokens, so just do keep that in mind. It's a little, and honestly, if anything, I'm sorry, but it's a bit rude to bring that up in here.
hmm, good to
Is
know.
there any magic item that you're after that maybe we could acquire for you?
Oh, yes,
It's
can I
within
have
our.
Kaido's
Within,
sword?
I feel
Valor's
like that one's a
Edge.
no.
you want him with it?
Oh, he's acceptable. I'm sure I could find some use for him.
They're adequate.
Look, here's a tip. You can win Kaido over with just giving him ladies of the night.
The sword is a very special and very old item, and I'd tell you more about it, but I'd have to charge you.
You know what? Would that charge be on him since he wants to know about it?
We even have to agree to it. As fun as and exciting as it is to come up with deals for people, I could not actually have you sign away on behalf of somebody else. Could you
Well,
imagine if somebody did that to you?
I could.
yeah,
Would be
yeah.
great.
So
But we're here.
it'd have to be his signature on the contract, and I tell him everything he wanted to know about the sword in exchange for the sword.
Hmm.
Or alternatively, I could offer him a few juicy details about the sword, as well as how to awaken more of its power in return
So
for some additional service.
I might have some more information for you.
Oh, do tell.
As you might know, I see the dead, and
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot of bad stuff happened in the Underdark around this area that left some spiritual echoes that I might have a line on that you don't.
Entirely possible. I am aware of the psychic fog that has flowed in from the astral plane.
Are you aware of the people and places that it took out?
Yes, villages, kobold, goblin, the occasional drow cat cottage in the Underdark, you know. Actually, that relates to the Shaper. The Shaper wasn't the one who brought in the psychic fog, but he did certainly take advantage of it being around.
It's good to know.
Theoretically, I believe he widened the gap leading into the astral plane that allowed the fog to flow in. So, where it would have eventually dissipated of its own accord, he is the one who made sure that didn't happen.
Right.
What the hell is his end game? Like he wants to go back home and take over or something.
Ooh, I mean, do you really want that information? That
Mm,
one, that one is going to cost you.
Yeah,
hmm.
I'm just thinking out loud. I don't know
Um,
what's gonna happen with him.
I'll let
okay.
you on a little. I'll just let you on a little secret. You actually have already almost found a bit of information about it completely inadvertently on a completely separate adventure. You've almost found that little crumb of information you're looking for of what he is after.
Hmm. All right.
But it's going to cost you. Would you do it for another favor?
God damn it, Baldarian.
Would
A
you
little
do
bit
it
too much
for?
risk involved, even with one favor right now.
Fair enough. Would you
I
do it?
will let you pet Aurora.
Uh, no, thank you. I'm not exactly a huge fan of fey creatures. They're sticky.
Racist.
Dang.
We get out of the contract by getting her canceled.
Let's just say we don't get along so well. Of course, I'm certainly willing to do deals. If anything, I would consider them to be competitors.
Really
When
noted.
did we actually get really close to this information anyway?
Well, I mean, I can't tell you that. I gave you just a little bit, just a small amount, just to kind of make things interesting. Are you sure? I mean, let's be honest, the favor isn't exactly terrible.
A favor is exactly as terrible as the worst thing you can think of that we're bound to do. We can't assume anything less.
This is true.
I think we're already signed up for one favor. That's probably
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's probably good for the day, you know?
Well, if you're always interested in finding me, I'll just say my name 3 times. You look. Oh, okay. So what it is, you have to get a mirror. It has to be in darkness. You have to light 2 candles, and it has to be.
I'm writing it down.
Okay. Now I really should be traditional and have the candles made of corpse fat. But people get a little squeamish about that, so I'll tell you what. Get a mirror. It doesn't have to be big, just at least a little bit. Big enough to have your face in it. 2 candles, one to the left, one to the right. Keep it in dim light as you light the candles. Say my name 3 times. And I will find you.
Cool.
What?
I said, cool. Otto was writing all of this down.
Very good. And I can get you a place you can rest. I can get you information. I can do all sorts of things. Just remember, nothing is free.
You teleport us great swaths of distances.
Actually, maybe she can. I possibly could. But that's not necessarily something I do. I'm not a taxi. I'm not going to take you from A to B, if that's what you're
I
wondering.
was actually thinking as like she's gonna say, I'm not a taxi.
Not a livery service.
I deal with information.
See?
I deal with information and very specific services that are not. I'm not a. If you want to,
taxi services.
yeah, go find a wizard if you want somebody to teleport you around.
Yeah, maybe ball tabaxi boy will fill up someday.
Well, anyway, that's what I gave. So, you know what? You have a night to think about it. Although I should mention, time flows a little differently here than it does where you're from. So your rest might not necessarily cover the full 8 hours in your material plane.
Does he know that we're missing right now?
Yes.
That's just kind of just random curiosity.
Your mental state has disappeared from his area. I'll tell you what.
Guess.
Take your long rest.
I know you want to do business with us.
Yes, I do.
We want to do business with you.
Yep.
But we're aware of the risk and the cost.
I
would suggest see if you can help meet us in the middle. Figure out something we've got, even if we don't know we got it.
I mean, that's all well and good. I suppose if you, well, I mean, yes, the Valor's Edge is quite a unique piece of technology. It's a very, very fantastic magical item. But I suppose you do have a good reputation within the city of Vaxfall itself.
Somehow.
I'll tell you what.
That's because it's not Drindier, buddy.
I actually could possibly have you vouch for me. Let's say I meet you in Vaxfall at some point in the future. You just vouch for me, say I'm on the level. Use your reputation to ease the wheels for anybody I'm dealing with, and then we'll come to a arrangement, right?
You need a place to do business?
No.
I mean, not really do, because you kind of just.
Oh, no. I meet where I need to.
I just show up.
Oh, I'm just saying, because apparently I forgot that I own a tavern now.
Oh, yes.
Is it going to cost me to know how much they're doing? If they're doing all right?
I could certainly tell you if you would like, but yes, it will cost you.
I guess they can surprise me when I get back.
Yeah, let's keep it to the mission critical stuff for now.
So how's that sound? I tell you some information, and in return, you will vouch for me.
Lady, I'll vouch for whatever you need.
And I suppose, you know what, you're adults. You can all fuck around and find out, as the people say. So, she snaps her fingers, and another flash of fire appears, and another contract appears. Let's say you vouch for me, and I provide you some more information. How's that sound? It's all written on the contract, free to read.
Probably same deal as before to save us 15 minutes.
Yeah, one time vouch.
The deal states that you will vouch on behalf of Anakind for people she is dealing with within Viderheim, and in return you will be provided with information. It will be considered fair information in return for a vouch. Every time you
vouch.
Yeah. The contract will continue forward and can be traded information for additional vouchers without needing to be re-signed. There you go.
I'll be right back, but if we're signing, you can just assume I sign.
All right. I assume she wants everybody to sign. We can't get away with just Otto jumping on it.
There's also a bit at the bottom that says the person you are vouching to must be convinced to make a deal with the contract holder and a kind, or the information will not be considered valid. Information will be paid out each time a person can be successfully convinced by your group.
Lovely. This sucks.
If you want me to, I can get you a small amount of information just for free, just to make this deal a little bit more viable for you all. How's that sound?
Give it a go.
Okay. Well, more blood on the contract, please.
All right.
You all sign it?
Probably.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful. I'm glad we can come to an arrangement. So, that one little freebie I'll owe you. What are you interested in?
More on the Shaper would be good.
The Shaper, his ultimate goal involves the Spirit Caller.
Alright. I suppose that makes sense.
As allies. So, I hope that helps you all.
Something to think about.
And I should mention, Spirit Caller may be dead, but that has only a mild disruption.
Yeah, I had a feeling. They're usually like that. Stock and trade, what?
Okay. Well, 2 contracts. I'll be collecting my favor at some point in time and space from you all.
Okay.
And I'll be sure to gather the wonderful persuasion that you all bring in for any dealings I have to do within Viderheim itself.
All right.
Sounds like we signed a contract, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And we got information that the Shaper wants to work with the Spirit Caller, who we killed, but that's only a temporary setback because on death.
Oh, not quite. He's well and truly dead. And I suppose he could come back, but as far as I'm aware, that's not anything planned as of yet.
Gotcha.
I
Well,
can give
either
you the
way-
full breakdown, but it's going to really cost you.
Well, we're pretty light, so that might have to do it.
Oh, don't sell yourself short. You see, your labor is actually worth quite a bit.
Agitating to start a union of adventurers.
Well, I'd hope not, but then again, of course, it might make your services more valuable, which in the end may be better for me in the long run, but who knows? Actually, if anything, maybe it will be, considering I'm going to be trading this favor to somebody else, so. Well, anyway, I say get your long rest in, go back to the lair. Be very careful because the Shaper there still has quite a few tricks, and once you're back into his lair, he will be aware of you being there. And if you'd like to get a mind blank spell, I'd be quite happy to sell that to you.
I don't suppose you're willing to trade for gold.
Oh, no, that's not really worth much to me.
We have the Moon-touched longsword. Does anybody else have any magic items that they could trade for? Any secret nuggets of background information we could trade for? Was anybody here sad once? Do we have a deep and meaningful backstory?
Every time Kaido does something, I'm sad.
That's a free space.
I mean, I could certainly trade a memory. Do you have a memory that you'd be willing to trade?
No, those are kind of important.
You would be surprised. Honestly, most people complain that their memories hurt them, so really, if anything, maybe I'd be doing you a favor.
Piffle offers to trade her all of the memories of times that he lost at gambling.
Oh, so you're just gonna think you're invincible? That's amazing.
Well, that's all well and good, but I was thinking maybe more a memory of your first love would be a good one.
I have never been in love, but I have lost at gambling many times.
Well, that's all well and
Well,
good.
technically, gambling is love.
Exactly.
I was thinking more, what would be, think of your greatest score you've ever succeeded. Like, imagine a plan or a gambling like event where it worked out perfectly and you got everything you could ever have wanted.
I cannot remember a time like that.
Then I can't take that memory. I trade these memories to other people. You see, I trade them to others, and I give them the memory, and then they have a good memory.
Oh, you want a good memory?
Well,
Jeez.
yeah.
This one's out of character, Ian. Just because I don't know how to actually ask for it in character.
Mm-hmm.
That increase.
I could do that, yes. You wish to gain more power. However, that one is vastly more powerful than you could ever want. That one is going to really cost you.
Yeah, that's what I
I
thought.
think that's just straight up pork over your soul for that one.
Yeah, we're just kind of wondering if that was on the table too.
Oh, everything's on the table. It's just what you're willing to pay.
Yeah, Jesus.
Because if I can't find what you want, I can find somebody who can give you what you want. For example, maybe you want to learn how to speak Undercommon.
Yeah, that's a work in progress.
Would you like to know it instantly?
Well, I would. I don't think it's deal worthy for me.
Everything's deal worthy. It's just what you're willing to pay. That's what it is. Just remember that. What you're willing to pay is what you get. Well then, think about it. Take a long rest. Go attune that bauble of yours, Graham, to what you need to, and then I will bring you back to the lair of the Shaper.
All right. I guess we can start resting up. The last thing I'm gonna say, but I don't want to do it today because I have no idea what to do with it, is I have one fourth level spell left, and I could use it to cast divination, maybe, or I was gonna say something to let us read languages, but I don't think the tongue spell would let me read written.
I think is it the one where
I think we looked at this.
Yeah, it's like the what was it called? Let me look up tongues real quick.
I think there's just a spell called like languages or something.
Yeah,
Or
Comprehend languages.
comprehend languages.
Yeah.
Let me just look up tongue real quick. Tongues is a third level spell. Yeah, you can only the currency ability to understand any spoken language it hears. Yeah, yep, and then you can converse. So you could talk to somebody and understand their language, and when you talk to them, they'd understand your language.
Would I be able to ask one of the masked like attendant staff if that can read the book to read it aloud in Infernal, and then I just use tongues to translate?
Oh, they speak common.
Mm.
Okay. Here, I'll tell you what. She looks through the like a bookcase, and she just kind of like flipping a page, and she just kind of like flips through a number of different bookcases before arriving, and she pulls out a book, and there you are. That's in common.
Okay, Graham will look at the book.
It is just the letter A repeating over and over and over again.
Not even Lorem Ipsum text. Oh, so it is.
I have gathered quite a bit of information and stored it here, and this is my library, and it contains a vast quantity of information, even if the information you want is the very first letter of the alphabet. And I've had quite a few people who have been transcribing these books into Infernal for a long, long time.
Infernal scribes. I had a character who was that once.
I'm sorry, what was that?
People who owed her a favor.
Yeah. Hey,
Probably.
like I said, I'm willing to accept anything. And if you can learn Infernal, and you can know Common, and you're willing to write neatly from Common into Infernal, then I'm willing to pay for that.
Yeah. Could be useful.
Anyway, snaps her fingers, and the walls rapidly change, and you find yourself in a very, very nice bedroom. The rug is a plush carpet. There is a massive bed that is, you'd be considered king-sized. The sheets are silk. It has the four posts with another silk, like, the word escaped my brain for a moment, but basically all around it.
Canopy?
Yes, canopy, thank you. There's a bottle of wine on a nightstand. There is a rope. She tells you, go ahead, pull that, and you'll summon a servant. They'll be able to help you for any reasonable need, food, drinks, anything at all. Each of you will get your own personal bedroom. As I said, would never be considered a bad host, so rest up, do what you need to do, and once you've fully rested, I will bring you back. And do remember, mind blank spell if you're willing to pay for it.
Would Fiffle, not to volunteer him, this is kind of an out of character ask, would Fiffle's ability to forge things let him, like, fake it?
The fiend contract?
Like, fake a transcription? Just reproduce the symbols without the understanding, or would it have to be, because you have to know it?
For a book?
Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to do a translation.
Yeah, he would be able to copy the script from one book onto paper. Just he wouldn't know the actual like meaning of it, but he'd be able to like write the symbols.
I'm rapidly running out of ideas. I guess just take our long rest and
Yeah,
call it here.
I think you're not gaming the system here.
All right. You all take a long
Mostly
rest.
just trying to figure out ways I could do it. I was hoping tongues would let me do comprehend languages, but
I mean,
I
if you,
think fiends
yeah.
and devils are not gonna be that easily tricked, though.
I'm not trying to trick them.
No, I know, but
I'm trying to do something she said she's willing to pay for, so we could try to get those mind blank spells.
I mean, if you want to
That's
do
what she's
the
offering for the right price. We kind of do need those.
she just tell you if you're interested in copying common to infernal or vice versa, I can certainly sign a contract, but I typically do long-term contracts, a year or more.
Uh, Evil has not yet deepened enough in Viderheim for them to do gig contract work.
Gig contract work. Interesting thought.
Oh! We can explain to her gig contract
for the spell,
for the spell.
Literally introducing a completely vile and evil concept onto a world.
Let me describe to you economic system whereby
Graham,
everybody gets screwed except for you.
make a persuasion check.
can I give him a D4 for this?
Yeah.
Pretty good persuader. I can try to persuade her on that.
Yeah, that D4.
19.
You know what? That's an interesting thought, and that's one I hadn't strictly considered. So I'll tell you what. I will give you one mind blank spell for that information.
Does one mind blank spell happen to cover everybody?
It covers one person.
That's what I thought.
Who's got the lowest intelligence?
If I traded you a moon-touched longsword, how many would that get us?
I would be willing to take that sword. I mean, it's okay. I will, for the information and the sword, I will give it to the rest of you.
All right. I guess we're going to have to, because we just don't have enough high-value shit to trade that isn't our immortal souls or favors that will fuck us.
It's like, man, you really are overvaluing our souls, buddy.
Oh.
Trust me, buddy. I know what they're worth.
I'm just
no,
kidding.
you don't. But I do.
I know enough to know that anybody who wants it and says that they're of no use to you, you should be a little leery of.
They're worth a decent amount. To the right people, of course. See, most things, the value of them changes depending on who you're selling them to. For example, Graham, I could sell your soul to a... Ooh, plenty of fiends out there of undeath. Ooh, they'd love to corrupt somebody of Eidos. Ooh, that would be so good for them.
I bet they would.
Ooh, especially a demon. Don't really make great deals with them, but they at least can be willing to be arranged with. Would you like to have your mortal soul owned by a demon of undeath?
You know what's the craziest thing, but I feel like nah?
Think about it. Just consider that in the long run. I mean, really, when you die, what are you going to really use your soul for?
Ideally, tending to the souls of other dead people. That was kind of my retirement plan.
Yes, people think that, but in the end, does it truly happen? You never know.
I literally do.
No, you think you do.
Well.
I mean, haven't we journeyed to the land of the dead at least once?
Sort of. Your excursion through the Shadowfell is more of a anti-Feywild, so to speak. Anyway, enjoy your long rest. I will take that moon sword now, but I will give you the mind blank spells in the morning, so that your 24 hours don't go to waste, or at least part of it don't. And yes, go ahead and attune to your little bauble there.
Graham will give over the sword and start attuning to the bauble.
Okay. Each of you have your own separate bedroom that you may rest in.
Well, might as well.
In your point of view, 8 hours pass. In your point of view, 8 hours pass, at which point you feel refreshed. You have the benefit of a long rest. Come, in your mind, morning. Plenty of food on the table for breakfast. You're able to eat to your fill. The food is very well made, very delicious, very filling. You all find yourselves in good shape. Anya Kind comes to you, and she places her hand on your head, each of you, and produces a mind blank spell. So you are all no longer able to be perceived by psionic powers.
Smooth. We do indeed take those. Okay. Maybe call the session here.
And yep, we're going to call the session here. All right, we'll pick this up next week.
I got a bunch of shit I actually have to use my brain for, and this is not the time.